welcome. It's a tutorial on Photoshop and Surrealism more specifically, and today we're just going to do an example. We're going to make this student, who I blurred out his face here because this is going on the internet, and he's an old student from a number of years back. We are going to make him look like the Invisible Man. So what I've got is that we took a picture of this student, and we have a, in the background, or we had him move out of the way, and using a tripod and the camera. The camera did not move because it was on a tripod, and we shot another picture with a blank background, which is going to make this fairly easy, I think. So all I'm going to do is take this picture of the boy, and I could just use the marquee tool and select everything this way, but it's actually easier. Control A is the quick key for select all, and then copy, and then go into this one, and then hit paste. Now, because I used a tripod, and these two should overlay each other absolutely perfectly. Might be off by a little bit, but it probably just moved because just pressing down the shutter on the camera will just move it just ever so slightly. So if I use the eraser tool now, and like say here, I'll get rid of this layer. If I start erasing this guy, but because this layer is perfectly in behind it, then it should overlay and just give the appearance that I'm erasing his arm. Now I do see here there's some color differences here, and that's probably because I haven't taught students how to do manual stuff on their cameras, so we will get into that later. So we may have to do some color correction over here. I just used the eraser tool to do that, but I think what I'm going to do, let's zoom in now, and I'm going to use the lasso tool to just do a finer edge here. Now I could use, if I was doing this for real in business, I would use the pen tool, but I haven't really taught students the pen tool yet. So, and then we'll just soften that edge up there. Okay, makes our life a little easier. And then let's just do the same thing here. Let's use the. I'm just going to use the lasso tool, which I have taught students, and we're just going to go grab some of that, and let's go along there, up to his necklace, and smooth that a bit, and then I'll take the rest of that out and hit delete. Okay, I'm going to leave. Oh, I don't know if I want to, but I don't think anybody's going to notice when we're all said and done with it. Let's go zoom in here and just soften. Oops. Make that smaller and soften that up. Okay. And then we'll just, quickly just zoom in here. And just going to use the lasso tool again, and I could use the quick selection tool. I could use the polygonal lasso tool. I could be using the pen tool, but I'm using this right now. Hitting the delete key, and then we'll just use the eraser tool there. Okay, so there's the basics of it. Now I could, let's do a little bit of color correction just to darken that area up here. I'm just going to select this background area here, because I think those actually look really good. And selecting the background, what I'm going to do is, if I were to just select this background, I'm going to go into my image adjustments and my levels, which is, this is my like shadows and my highlights and my midtones and my overall dark and overall light. And I'm going to do that to just that layer. What I'm going to do is, while I have that layer selected, I'm going to go back into that, and let's just take my midtones. Or maybe Up here looks good, but down here looks darker. Maybe what I'll just do is go into the burn and midtones. Too much. Let's bring it back. Alright, not bad. Okay, good for now, because like nobody's ever going to notice that. Okay, so now what we want to do now is it looks a bit prominent. It doesn't look real because he should see the back of the shirt if he was actually invisible. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to take the bottom of his shirt and we're going to select the bottom of the shirt. Let's use the quick selection tool. And we're just going to select along there. Oh, I should have that layer selected. Go along there. Okay. And we've got that. It certainly did select it really quick. I only need that part of it. And we're going to copy that and paste it down. And so now I've got this here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate it and kind of make it, I'm going to make it smaller because it's, and I'm going to put it in behind here. Now the benefit of doing that, if I put that in behind this layer now, it's going to look like, start to look like that's the back of the collar. So Control T, bring that down so that actually kind of lines up with that. There. Okay, and then let's just use the lasso tool here just to get rid of that, and the lasso tool to get rid of that, because these are all things that I did when I was there. Now, not bad, not bad. Actually looks good. I think I want to add a little bit of shading there. So I want to add some shadow. So I'm going to take a sample of this. So using my eyedropper over here, I'm going to take a sample of that color. And then using my brush tool here, I'm going to, in a new layer, go new layer and shadow. And now I could just start coloring that in. But I think what I'll do is I'm going to, if I hold down the Control key, I can select this layer, turn the contents of this layer into a selection. And then that way when I do this, I'm only painting inside that selection. And you only see in there because this is actually in behind that shirt. So I actually am painting here, but this foreground of the shirt is covering it. So let's actually do a bit better of a job. Let's back that intensity off. I'm going to multiply it and just there. Looks like it's getting darker as you go down into the shirt, which makes sense. Okay? Not bad. Okay, so let's do this. Now, this is interesting. I already have this. Let's work with that. You know, sometimes you're just kind of working with what you got. Let's take this. I don't know if this will work. Let's try it. I'm going to copy it, Control C, and paste it back down. I'm going to flip it, Control T, and right click and go flip horizontal, and then we're just going to put it there. Now, if I do that, and I throw it in behind. Okay, so now that layer is in behind this layer, and I'm gonna really cheat here. We're gonna stretch that, and we're just gonna totally mess with it. Actually, though, not too shabby. Got some things to clean up. Let's clean them up. Eraser tool. There, and what's going on here? Looks like just like it just. I think I should have just made that a little bit longer. Let's actually. All just going to use the clone stamp tool. Just extend that out a little bit. Alright. And then actually maybe I'll just use my brush tool in a new layer. And I just don't like that. Oh, okay. Hey, that doesn't look too bad. Alright, so we made him disappear. Okay, and you could do the same thing here, where, like if he was wearing shorts, you could have just made his legs disappear. And actually what I would do probably too is just have him get out of the way and just leave his empty shoes there, and that way you wouldn't have to crop around the shoes, and that would just make a whole lot of sense. Okay, so good luck with your project.